Embracing who you are with all of your strengths and weaknesses is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward personal growth. The idea of self-acceptance may seem simple, but it is often misunderstood. Many people think that self-acceptance means settling for mediocrity or excusing shortcomings. In reality, true self-acceptance is about recognizing your worth, understanding your flaws, and working to improve without judgment or self-criticism. When you accept yourself, you free yourself from the burden of trying to live up to unrealistic expectations set by others or by societal norms. This creates space for self-compassion and growth, which are essential for unlocking your full potential. Self-acceptance means acknowledging that you don't need to be perfect to be valuable. Everyone has weaknesses, and acknowledging them is not a sign of failure, but of strength. The most successful people are those who understand their weaknesses, seek help when needed, and continually strive to improve. In fact, research has shown that self-compassion is linked to greater emotional well-being and resilience. Kristen Neff, a leading researcher on self-compassion, found that people who practice self-acceptance are better equipped to handle challenges and setbacks because they don't beat themselves up over imperfections. They view mistakes as opportunities for learning rather than as evidence of inadequacy. By accepting who you are, you also open yourself up to real growth. When people are constantly in pursuit of someone else's standard, they often ignore their own unique strengths. Everyone has inherent abilities, and they become apparent when you stop comparing yourself to others and focus on what makes you different. Self-acceptance allows you to stop apologizing for who you are and instead celebrate your individuality. This shift not only improves confidence, but also makes it easier to take risks, try new things, and embrace challenges. The more you accept yourself, the more you can show up as your authentic self, which is the key to building genuine success and happiness. Breaking free from the trap of comparison requires more than just a shift in mindset. It takes deliberate action. One of the first steps to freeing yourself from this cycle is to acknowledge that it exists. Awareness is key. When you catch yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, stop and ask, why am I doing this? What am I hoping to achieve by comparing myself? Often these comparisons arise out of insecurity or a desire to be validated. Once you identify the root cause, you can begin to challenge the thought patterns that feed comparison. Another important action is to limit exposure to sources that fuel comparison. For instance, social media can often be a trigger for these feelings. While it's a platform that connects people, it's also a space where others present curated versions of their lives. Spending too much time scrolling through perfect images or success stories can distort reality. Taking time away from these platforms and spending more time on self-reflection can help redirect focus toward personal growth. Studies show that reducing social media usage has a positive impact on mental health and self-esteem, as it diminishes the constant comparison to others' highlight reels. Creating a habit of celebrating personal milestones, no matter how small, also plays a significant role in breaking the cycle of comparison. Reflecting on your achievements, even if they don't seem as grand as someone else's, reinforces the idea that progress is individual. Keeping a gratitude journal, for example, allows you to look back on your accomplishments, track your development, and acknowledge how far you've come. Research has demonstrated that practicing gratitude increases happiness and reduces negative thought patterns. The more you recognize your own journey, the less you will feel the need to compare it to someone else's. Finally, shifting your focus from others to yourself encourages self-compassion. Treating yourself with kindness, being patient with your progress, and understanding that growth takes time are all key practices. The idea of being perfect is often a myth, and learning to embrace imperfection fosters personal growth and resilience. Studies on emotional well-being show that self-compassion improves psychological health by reducing the fear of failure and the pressure of constantly measuring up. With practice, you will start to see that the most powerful way forward is to focus on your own path. When you shift your focus from comparing yourself to others and start investing in your own purpose, you unlock a level of confidence and inner strength that can't be found anywhere else. This shift allows you to stop measuring your worth based on external success and start living from a place of authenticity. The key is to understand that your path is uniquely yours and no one else's achievements can diminish your potential. Once you align with your purpose, you'll experience a sense of clarity and direction that will fuel your growth. The act of focusing on your personal journey often brings a newfound sense of freedom. Instead of being consumed by what others are doing, you begin to recognize the value of your own goals, values, and aspirations. This mindset shift is incredibly empowering because it frees you from the constant need for external validation. Research shows that people who focus on intrinsic goals such as personal growth and fulfilling their own values report higher levels of well-being and satisfaction. By releasing the need to compare, you stop allowing others' success to define your own. This change also sparks creativity and innovation. When you stop trying to replicate someone else's life or success, you make room for your ideas and passions to emerge. You start thinking about how you can bring something unique into the world, which may have otherwise been overshadowed by trying to match someone else's achievements. The ability to embrace your own individuality unlocks a level of potential that comparison could never provide. Innovation often arises from embracing personal perspective and creativity rather than trying to fit into someone else's mold. Furthermore, this shift brings a sense of peace and resilience. You no longer have to measure yourself against a moving target. Instead, you focus on your own progress and growth. Studies in psychology show that people who focus on their own personal development tend to be more resilient in the face of setbacks. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you develop a stronger sense of self, and you become less susceptible to the negativity that often comes with comparison. This newfound confidence builds upon itself, encouraging you to pursue bigger goals without the fear of falling short. The more you trust your own path, the more confident you become in taking bold steps forward. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing more dangerous than looking at someone else's life and deciding that yours is not enough. Nothing more crippling than scrolling, watching, comparing until you convince yourself that you are behind, that you are not where you should be, that somehow God made a mistake on you. But let me tell you something today, God doesn't make mistakes. You see, comparison is a thief. It will rob you of your joy, your peace, and your progress. Some of you are stuck not because you are incapable, not because you are unqualified, but because you have been measuring your worth with someone else's ruler. Listen to me, you were never meant to run their race. You were never meant to walk their path. And as long as you keep your eyes on what they're doing, you will never step into what you are called to do. Comparison is one of the most dangerous traps a person can fall into. It disguises itself as motivation, but in reality, it slowly drains confidence, peace, and self-worth. When people constantly measure themselves against others, they begin to feel inadequate, like they are always behind, never quite enough. It leads to frustration, anxiety, and self-doubt, making it difficult to recognize and appreciate personal progress. Instead of celebrating individual growth, the mind becomes fixated on someone else's success, causing unnecessary pressure and emotional exhaustion. One of the biggest problems with comparison is that it creates an unfair playing field. People often compare their struggles to someone else's success, forgetting that they are only seeing the surface. Social media has amplified this issue, presenting carefully curated moments that make others appear flawless. Seeing someone post about a new job, a perfect relationship, or luxurious vacations can make it seem as though they have everything figured out. But what is not shown are the nights they cried, the sacrifices they made, or the failures they endured. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Comparison is the thief of joy," and that statement holds more truth than ever in today's world. Instead of finding joy in personal progress, people feel discouraged by someone else's highlight reel. A major reason why comparison is so harmful is that it shifts focus away from personal purpose. Every individual has a unique journey, specific experiences and talents that are meant to shape their path. But when attention is placed on someone else's achievements, it becomes difficult to recognize one's own strengths and opportunities. Instead of refining skills or working towards personal goals, energy is wasted trying to keep up with another person's pace. This mindset can cause people to abandon their own dreams, thinking they are not good enough simply because someone else is further along. This is why it is crucial to remember that no two people have the same journey. Success is not a race, and there is no universal timeline that everyone must follow. Psychologists have studied the effects of social comparison, particularly in the realm of self-perception and happiness. Research has shown that those who frequently compare themselves to others are more likely to experience lower self-esteem and increased levels of stress. This is because they base their worth on external validation rather than internal fulfillment. Instead of focusing on their own growth, they measure success through the lens of others, leading to dissatisfaction and constant self-criticism. In contrast, those who focus on self-improvement without comparing themselves to others tend to be more confident and content with their progress. History also provides examples of how destructive comparison can be. Vincent van Gogh, one of the most celebrated artists of all time, struggled with feelings of inadequacy because he compared himself to other artists of his time. He doubted his work, questioned his abilities, and lived much of his life believing he was a failure. Today, his paintings are regarded as some of the most valuable in the world. His story is a powerful reminder that progress and impact are not always immediate or visible in the moment. What matters is consistency, growth, and staying true to personal vision rather than measuring success against others. Breaking free from comparison requires a mindset shift. Recognizing that personal worth is not determined by external achievements allows for real growth. Each person has strengths, talents, and opportunities that are unique to them. The real victory is not in outpacing someone else, but in becoming the best version of oneself. Letting go of comparison makes room for gratitude, confidence, and progress, which are the true markers of success. What people see on the surface is rarely the full truth. The illusion of perfection is one of the greatest deceptions in today's world, making it easy to believe that others have everything figured out while personal struggles seem overwhelming. Social media, entertainment, and even casual conversations often present a version of reality that is carefully constructed to highlight success while hiding difficulties. This selective presentation of life creates an illusion that others are effortlessly succeeding while personal challenges feel heavy and unending. The mind starts to compare, convincing itself that something is lacking, that something is wrong, and that progress is too slow. What is often forgotten is that every person, no matter how successful, has encountered obstacles, failures, and self-doubt. Many of the most accomplished individuals in history experienced setbacks that were not visible to the world at the time. Thomas Edison, known for inventing the light bulb, failed thousands of times before achieving success, but his failures are not the part of his story that is commonly told. Oprah Winfrey, who became one of the most influential media figures in history, was once told she was unfit for television. If people only focus on the final result, the success, they miss the struggles that shape the journey. This creates the false belief that those who are successful were always confident, prepared, and skilled, when in reality, they face doubts and failures just like everyone else. The illusion of perfection is particularly dangerous because it distorts self-perception. Instead of appreciating personal progress, the mind becomes focused on unrealistic expectations. This leads to feelings of inadequacy and the belief that success must come effortlessly, or it is not valid. Research in psychology supports this, showing that people who compare themselves to highly curated images of success are more likely to experience anxiety and self-doubt. A study conducted by the University of Pennsylvania found that reducing social media use led to lower levels of depression and loneliness, proving that constant exposure to idealized versions of life can negatively impact mental well-being. The pressure to appear perfect can also create a fear of failure, making people hesitant to take risks or pursue new opportunities. This illusion is not limited to careers or public success. Relationships, personal growth, and even happiness itself can be misrepresented. Someone may appear to have the perfect marriage, but behind closed doors they may struggle with communication and emotional distance. Another person may seem financially successful, but they could be burdened by debt and stress. The truth is that nobody has a life without challenges, and perfection is never as real as it appears. Breaking free from the illusion of perfection requires shifting focus away from surface-level comparisons and embracing the reality of personal growth. Real success is not found in appearing flawless, but in developing resilience, learning from mistakes, and staying committed to progress. Recognizing that everyone has struggles, even those who seem to have it all, allows for a healthier mindset and deeper appreciation of personal achievements. Growth is a journey, not a competition, and real fulfillment comes from embracing both the victories and the challenges along the way. Everyone has a unique purpose, and comparing oneself to others distracts from the very thing that sets each person apart. No two people walk the same path, nor do they face the same challenges or opportunities. When people focus too much on others' journeys, they risk losing sight of their own calling. This is a dangerous trap because it shifts energy away from self-development and forces it into competing with someone else's timeline, abilities, or success. No one else's achievements will ever define your worth or your potential. Each individual is born with gifts, experiences, and insights that no one else possesses, and it is only by embracing those things that true progress is made. When individuals compare themselves to others, they forget that their journey was designed specifically for them. Just because someone else is farther along in their career, relationship, or personal goals doesn't mean that they are on the right path. It simply means they are on a different journey. The time and effort that another person invests in their goals may look different from what you need to achieve your own. And that's perfectly okay. In fact, this variance is what makes the world so rich in diverse talents, viewpoints, and opportunities. Each person has a role to play, and each person has a timeline that aligns with their individual purpose. Recognizing and accepting this truth is freeing because it allows people to release the pressure of comparison. Instead of stressing over someone else's progress, they can begin focusing on their own growth. The more a person aligns with their own purpose, the clearer their path becomes. A person's unique journey is about trusting the process, allowing the right opportunities to arise, and being willing to put in the effort to learn, grow, and evolve. Studies in psychology, such as those by Carol Dweck on growth mindset, emphasize that embracing personal development over competition with others leads to more fulfillment and long-term success. Each individual is destined for something that no one else can do the way they can.